Moving on to another freak of nature from Europe, that country being France.
I was going to guess Johnny Knoxville, but I was wrong.
Is he from
When you
Europe?
said freak of nature. No, I'm pretty sure he's from like Tennessee.
Yeah, I was going to say. Wemby, though, yeah, he had that ankle roll video. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh my. As someone that has weak ankles, I had to tape my ankles whenever I do anything sporting-wise. Just baby ankles, like worse than Steph ankles.
I have shoes specifically for my
ankles. I almost
ankles.
Vomited watching what happened to Wemby's ankle. It's not even that he just rolled it, it's that it felt like it was a finger crumpling. There was like a 4-action crumple to his ankle roll, and then the crazy Frenchman just jumps up and runs down the court.
And is completely fine.
Because like the ref like looks at him. The bench for the Spurs is like, and then the ref's like, you good? And then he goes, I'm fine. And then puts his arm up and it's to the ref's head because of how big his wingspan is. And then the ref pulls him up and he just like runs without any hindrance. He is Elastigirl.
Yeah. The way it looks also is just so crazy because of how long and skinny his leg is. It looks like that could like snap in half.
I don't even want to think about it. Ugh.
But like,
it's terrifying.
Yeah. But how insanely durable. Like I saw some comments that were like, AD would have held a funeral right then and there. Like, pretty accurate. But, like, that is just insane. I saw people saying that's what stretching can do for you. And if somebody would have...
he is big on stretching.
Yeah, he does, like, yoga before games. If somebody would have told me growing up playing basketball, stretching could prevent things like that, I don't think I ever even knew that. I knew, like, muscle pull, like, you know, your muscles type of thing. But, like, rolling something, I didn't know that stretching... It makes sense now that I think about it, but...
I think it's more the stretching is in, like, stretching all the time makes your body just more snappy. Like, it can
bend that way.
Take
used to it,
and it just kind of snaps back.
Which
that's just
it's just crazy the way it looks for those who haven't seen the video. Also with Wemby the other night, speaking of AD, also they had a head-to-head battle last night that almost ended in a Spurs win.
Dude, if I was Wemby, I would go back to France and say, I didn't declare for the NBA draft. Anyone else get the first pick, please. They just keep letting him down. He's doing so good. Not better than my boy Chet, rookie of the year, but what the heck?
Yeah,
he just does, like, he does something and you're like, he is so good.
He takes over games in the fourth quarter against some of the best players in the world.
Like, oh man,
like that's an insane just thing outside of like the freak of nature that he is, you know what I mean? Like all of that he has going from his like physical abilities and his stature, like that's enough to make him like a world-class, like one of the best prospects of all time.
Potential, yes.
But then you add in that he's like, as a teenager, he's
already
like
up here, like ready,
a killer, hitting like back-to-back step-back threes with just a couple minutes left in a close game against the Lakers, while Anthony Davis is guarding him and dunking on Anthony Davis and making all the defensive plays too. He made the defensive play to get the ball back. They had that turnover that cost them the game. Wemby gets the defensive stop, and in the backcourt, Malachi Branham has it, and he's passing it over to Devin Vassell, I believe, and he just kind of lazily throws it over to him. And AD's still not like switching ends yet, and he gets the interception and then just dunks it after Wemby was already streaking down the floor, because Wemby got the contest. It was one of those deals where he contests the jump shot, so then his momentum's already carrying him down the floor. So usually in those situations, especially with a freak athlete like Victor, if he is contesting a shot and running down the floor and his team gets the ball, they should just send it down the court to him so he gets a wide open basket. But Malachi Branham instead just lazily throws it over to Devin Vassell and gets it taken away. That's literally what lost them the game, was that play. Because then they had to start fouling and they would have been up instead of being down by one.
Man, it's just so frustrating. Like it has to get to him, right?
I would think, but he seems so calm and composed all the time. I mean, you could tell on his face, like after that game, that he was like disappointed with the loss. I don't know if he was with his teammates, but
how do the Spurs keep finding them? How do they just randomly have these picks to find these big men that are like rather agreeable?
Yeah,
like just
good people.
Why?
Yeah, it's weird.
And maybe Wemby is boiling, but he doesn't give off the vibes that he's like gonna explode in demand. Like, I need you to help me, please.
He seems so. Just watching interviews with him and stuff, he's just so like well thought out. It reminds me of, I don't know if you know much about like Taylor Swift's start. This is weird that I'm comparing Victor Wembanyama to Taylor Swift, but like,
brother man, who are you talking to?
I don't mean like her first albums like musically. I just mean like the way she was prepared for stardom.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about, because I'm like, I rock with Taylor Swift from like, I'll go through 1989. I like mess with Taylor Swift hardcore.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I just have heard it talked about before about her dad and her when she was a teenager. Like they were so prepared and thought out about how they would handle stardom and handle like her career as a pop star or a country star or whatever, and make like all the right moves of like just the way to deal with certain situations, certain fans, and like just how to be in the public eye basically. And like Victor Wembanyama very much gives off that same type of vibe of like that. He's known since he was like 11 or 12 that he was going to be an NBA player, and he's been basically preparing preparing for like how to handle that.
This.
And so like just the preparedness of like the whole yoga thing, like how to take care of his body and make sure like he stays healthy, like that's just a huge thing. But then also just like the demeanor of letting the game come to him, not forcing the issue necessarily, keeping a level head, and knowing what moments of games to just take over. Having that kind of like mind for the game is just like insane for anybody to have at his age, let alone like physically one of the most alluring specimens that the sport has ever seen.
Well, yeah, and I think the other thing that like if he's taking care of his body this well now, do we just have like 25 years of this to look forward to?
Yeah, honestly.
You know what I mean?
I feel like it would be so hard to maintain a back on a person like that for that long, but
yeah. But if anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna have to be somebody that has that like at 18 or 19 years old already mentally is like, I need to take care of this thing that is my body because it's what makes me do what I love doing.
Yeah.
That's not something that people usually figure out right away.
Exactly.
But to come into the grind with that, like already like what seems to be just aggressively programmed in.
I don't know if it's like his parents prepared him. Like his dad's he was a professional basketball player overseas, but I'm not sure where it comes from, honestly.
It's like next level.
Yeah.
It is wild.